Hear all of our previously aired broadcasts of News for the Soul online at newsforthesoul.com. Now let's get back to the show. Talking with the Angels and Beyond. It's time for Tanya Mosley. Tanya, welcome back.
Hello, Nicole. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. How are you?
I'm okay. I've been channeling, and I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, let's get you to reintroduce yourself and your show.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining. I am Tanya Mosley. I run Talking with the Angels and Beyond. I don't want to say running, but that's kind of my show. The name was given to me by Jesus. I'm a channeler, intuitive healer, all things kind of to do with spirituality. And it's been definitely a very interesting, and I do want to say this, Nicole, so if you happen to have questions or something that pops in, do pop in, because Spirit kind of gave me that this morning when I was brushing my teeth. So it's been kind of interesting about that I talked about it on the last show, that kind of a time to kind of sit in our center, and this whole, I think they're using the word transpire, into this higher level of consciousness. And I was in Sedona this past week and kind of on a soul retreat, and I kept hearing elevated thought. And when you go to a sacred place that is full of high energy, and especially with everyone's intention, with love, and they're bringing me to a vibration of love, manifesting, and miracles and clarity happens. And I did a lot of soul healing with myself, and I'm very good at healing past lives and past traumas, but I hadn't done this for myself. So this weekend, during one of their kind of dance things, I was just kind of moving to the music, and then all of a sudden, as I do with my clients, some DNA activation came in, and clearing of lineage and lifetimes of stuff that maybe I had brought over that no longer serves me. And we do this, I wish it was like a one-time and done pill, but, the more you evolve, the more elevated thought comes, the more patterns and cycles begin to clear. So I've been feeling lots of deja vu. I got back on Monday, and I've had a late flight, and lots of deja vu, seeing things, I want to say seeing things that aren't there, but very visuals with the third eye, and energy, and feeling. This has been the word, and they made me write it in capital letters, things that, like, I could feel somebody was next to me, or feeling things. And I have this all the time, but it's felt, as Spirit keeps telling me, extremely stronger. And deja vu is it's actually very intense, is the best way I can describe it. Like, I seriously sat here, I was like, I've already done this before. Here are we going. And also having conversations with my higher self in the same room. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? Maybe I need lack of sleep. And I've been sitting here channeling before we came on. And the words, I did a guided meditation before, is B, capital B-E. And the words keep changing: believe, encounter, behind, enlighten. And I'm like, okay. And they bring in the words to feel. Everybody talks about going back to basics, going back to the beginning, rejuvenation. And Master Magdesiak came in, and I worked with him a lot of times, especially about alchemy and manifesting. And he's had many conversations with me, and I'm actually writing a book, a channeled book with him, one of the other books, many books that I'm talking about, I've been writing. And he said to me right before we get on here, he said, the bell is spinning. And we know the bell is spinning, but it's in a sense of, I'm going to ask him to start channeling this. It's guiding us and moving us and transitioning us. Okay, we'll talk about that. Through dimensions. And when you talk about dimensions, it's really funny because and I think about it, I'm like, what does that even mean? And it's in a plane, so if you think it's something that's, see something out 10 feet in front of you, wherever you may be sitting, and it looks like little slices. And there's many layers between this and that you can't physically see. Well, the layers are starting to slow down. Spirit. The more we evolve and understand and expand and elevate our thought and expand our consciousness, we're starting to see through those where they're starting to help us through the way that we feel and connect in a feeling. And then it's not even about seeing, it's about feeling the presence of others. We talk about this in mediumship when our loved ones passed over and they said, I can still feel them. I can still feel them. And I said, well, that's good because they're not really dead. Their physical died, but they're not dead. So we talk about this with other dimensions. We have been, I know because I keep going, the ripple effect, hurt our planet by our energies and our actions, and I use the conversation as overusing our free will card. So the dimensions and layers and the veil is starting to thin to say, you are not alone in this universe and this consciousness, and we're here to help you. And it's not always knowing exactly at that moment what it is, but it's feeling the love and the connection, and it can keep going lineage from other lineages and lifetimes and things that are happening right now. And it took me a long time to kind of understand this, because then we begin to be in our head. And how is that, how is that possible? And we haven't seen it, and everybody's looking for evidence, and everybody, I keep hearing somebody saying the proof is in the pudding. And every time I do start thinking, going very much outward, Spirit starts pulling me inward and bring me back into the center. And it's the sense of knowing. And I teach all my clients this: sit in a room, in a house, and whatever, with nothing around you, no sound, no TV playing, nothing, and sit. Okay, hold on. Sorry, Spirit's talking to me. And feel that you're not alone in your room. The connection to, yes, your spirit guides, your spirit team, but ask for, I like to just make it broad in your team and ask them to trigger your feeling. Spirit keeps talking about the laws of nature. I was sitting here and channeling, and a bird came and started pecking on my window and was looking at me in the window. And then I heard thunder when there's no thunder. And I'm like, okay, Spirit, understanding that the laws of nature and our energy and our higher plane of consciousness and our elevated thought is, say that again, our nature is reacting to that higher plane. So it's talking about evaluating our thoughts, especially since they keep throwing me to January. Jupiter went retrograde, and it made me really tired. And I was trying to figure out, I'm like, is this really bothering me this bad? And there's so much astrology-wise and energetic-wise. I feel like I see it like a little bit above the Earth is astrology. You guys may have said this before. And right above it is other energies, and we're not cognitively really aware of it, but we feel it as empaths and intuitive. And as we evaluate, and it's funny because it's the cycle of reevaluating, and I think the guy before talked about kind of the figure eight, but as we go back through and evaluate things that, slow down, Spirit's talking to me and I've been trying to channel, and they're talking about the silver cord and the lining, something that you may have missed that needs to be very apparent in the next coming months. So taking time to evaluate, like in the word joy, it's been today, things that have brought you joy, but also things that are very, and it goes like subtitles, like very subdued, like very something that's thought as a non-event. We get so wrapped up in the emotions and the hectic and life And I know, hold on, sis. Please hold just a second. Because they brought the word B, capital B, capital E. Talk about B. It's almost like the movement of I am, but I feel like this movement is of BE. And when we talk about I am, we are the creator, we're of this. And this movement is the BE of believing and encountering. And I got it. Yes, thank you. Hold on. Oh, bingo. Wow, I love when teaching tools come in when I'm in the middle of channeling. Okay. So what? Oh, sorry, I'm like, now my heart is like, my heart just kind of like expanded. Whew, that was a rush of energy. So the capital B and the capital E is believe and encounter. And what that is believing that everything that you're getting and you're encountering in this moment, and believe in it. We talk about trusting. We talk about, okay, so hold on. There are more things to come that are, all right, I'm going to start channeling this. There are more things to come that are unseen but felt by humanity. The more we recognize our feelings and center ourselves with our own energy, mastering our own energy, then we recognize the encounters that may come. I don't know what that word subdue means, but I feel like it's very much of you feel the energy. You feel that something is there, but you just may not hear or see it, but it's feeling. It's that inner knowing. Connecting more with your center will open and allow these energies and people and things to transpire in and all around your life. The BE movement, I didn't know this was a thing. Hold on. Yes, please. Hold on. BE movement. Believe encounters that are happen and they bring it right to my heart chest is within you. This is, thank you, yes. This is not comparison. This is because we're in this world of comparing each other's gifts. Oh my gosh, this is making so much sense right now for my life. So we're in this time where we compare our gifts and information, but it's not about comparison. It's about sitting in the bubble and believing in the encounters that you are receiving and sitting into your center, because they're very individual. And it's individualized because, say that again, the collectiveness have been scattered. Oh, which I have felt. That makes complete sense. I know, we'll get to questions. It feels like a little bit, and I have felt this with, it's funny because I kind of felt this with the competition of spirituality, and which you would think is a non-event, but I know any intuitives and any healers have felt this, where, I don't know, there's some psychology or something I learned in psychology, the first time you meet somebody, there's an instant kind of response and judgment, but sit inside yourself and be in your moment with who you are, and kind of trying to constantly work on letting go of evaluation and comparison. And I talked about this over the weekend, that I feel like here in the Western culture, like here in the U.S. and North America and everything else, we have idolized movie stars and athletes, and we've put everybody on a pedestal. And even with spiritual teachers, we've put them on a pedestal, and they're like, oh, well, they've got all the knowledge, they've got this, but they're bringing me to the word of equality, and it just not feels like we've been off balance. So I understand when Spirit just said a few minutes ago that I can't remember. Say it again, please. The consciousness has been scattered, and kind of like the web has become kind of like bumper cars. When you go to like the Eastern, there's, you talk about Buddhism, they say they're some of the humblest people because it's the same playing field. And how I believe how to master this is how Spirit is communicating this, is being in our center and exactly believing in every encounter that we have and not trying to have the comparison factor. I have had a couple accounts and they want me to go over and review the lessons that I have learned with a couple the past 6 months of other intuitives who came from a place of and then it was kind of, then a friendship turned into, a non-friendship and all this kind of stuff. And and I've heard from other intuitives, this is a hard field to go into. And it's not like, sometimes some people choose this path to go into and others get thrown into it like I. And, I kind of got fed up and I said, Spirit, I just want to be in a vibration of love. I'm tired of the comparison. I'm tired of the feeling of like angry and everybody's fighting. And when I talked about in the beginning of my healing that I had done, I had realized that I don't like being in this physical body. And when I talked about when I was telling you about my story, when the intuitive told me that I have 1 foot in and 1 foot out and I need to be very careful because I could leave in a matter of moments. And I told her yes, because I don't, and I had to really sit with myself this past weekend and figure out why is that? Because I know what the other side looks like. I know it's divine beauty. I know there's so much love. And I'm like, why do I have to go there? Why did I choose to stay here? And I know that I chose to stay here. I know that my contract, I have a soul contract here. Like, I'm understanding all of that. But why do I have some self-body issues? And I don't want to say fight, but have resistance with the body, with the temple that I chose. So I healed and I worked on that, understanding that I know, like, this lifetime I can go back and evaluate, okay, was this, my mother that came in, maybe that she came in with something, and then I have picked that up, so I know how to go through that, but I definitely felt that this is a lifetime of coming in and doing this. We did this exercise where, over the weekend, where we were meditating, and we went out into the universe, and then we sat, and in the second meditation, we sat within. And he goes, did anybody struggle with that? And some people struggled going out, and some people struggled going within. And I didn't have a problem with either one. Where I began the struggle was when I opened my eyes, feel, and so many empaths. I can see you shaking your head and feeling. When you feel like the self-low and the low energy and the anger and the hurt and fear and insecurities, sometimes as an empath, as an intuitive, it's like you just want to grab everybody and say, this moment is for a blip of time. Get over yourself. It's going to be okay. There's something better. But this is why what my book is The Web of Creation. I'm still working on the title. I'm not sure if that's what it's be, but so many people are trapped in their trauma. And so many people are trying to help move and raise this vibration and consciousness, but it's of self. And a lot of people had a hard time sitting within themselves. But it's like, so I asked Spirit, I'm like, what do I do? How can my words, how can my channel, how can my energy get people unstuck? Really moving on to find the joy. And that's something I really had to work on in my life because I'm busy. I have a mom. I have a teenager right now that's, in the whole little trying to drive and get her learner's permit. And she's going through the rough age that we have all been there. She's in 8th grade, and it's like, holy cow, we've got the attitudes. And I try to hold space for her because I know what that's like when your hormones are out of whack and you're dealing with, it's funny because you talk about the circle of life. I told her, I said, I deal with the same thing even as an adult that I did in 8th grade. And it's like constantly going back in a circle. And I'm like, when can we break this pattern and just go straight? Come on, Spirit. Like, when can we just keep going straight? There's energy, lots of energy moving. As soon as we move out of our head and into our heart space. But the key words is in a place, in a judgment-free zone, I guess as you could say, not with whatever else you see outside, but within yourself. And that really hit home because I tend to be really hard on myself. especially about my physical vessel that I chose here to do, to be in. I like that. Judgment, I gotta write that down. Judgment, free zone. And I think sometimes it's like, okay, it's that thing, especially intuitives and healers, we all did this. Okay, well, we can see their cycle. We can map it out. We understand it. But sometimes that is very challenging for us to do, for ourselves, for our lives. And I had to really work on that this weekend and say, if something would trigger me, is this jealousy, Tanya, or is this? Like, are you intuitively feeling into this, or are you being ego? Like, and I had to feel into this and had to really understand every emotion, every trigger. Where does this stem from? Where does this come from? Is this my I don't want to say, what did you say? My intuitive positive ego that's saying warning bells, or is this like an ego of less than? So you have all these and we come up with all these emotions and feelings and knowing ourselves deeper. And it is a process. And I love how we are able to learn and heal every day. And somebody said, well, are you done healing or done learning? And I said, the day I'm done learning is the day I drop dead and I'm out. I said, until I'm here, I'm going to keep learning because my job or my mission isn't done yet. What else did you want to bring up? So yes, BE, the BE movement, which I'm still going to have to channel that more. And it's one of those things, and somebody else will talk about it and spread it like wildfires, and that's important. Believing in the encounters that are presented in front of you. In this moment and in these lifetimes. And I love that because so many, and I had to say this with my clients. I understand this is like, so piggyback message. So many people will go to a medium or go to an intuitive, and as soon as they say something, they're stuck on it. Done. They live in that, and they're trying to manifest exactly what they said, and they're stuck on that, and they're waiting and waiting and waiting, instead of believing in the counter in the moment. Talk about movement and moment, and not being stuck on things. This is when resistance happens, because we hold on to something and say, nope, we're waiting for this to happen because this is what I was told, and not allowing. You don't want to talk about manifesting law of attraction and allowing your energy to flow and what the divine brings you. We're holding in resistance to, nope, this is what I'm holding on to. I feel like this is going to come, or this is what I was told, and this is what I want to do. Instead of letting things go and letting Spirit, the divine, it's trusting another level that they've got your back, and what comes into your energy field is exactly what you need to be, where you need to be, who you need to meet, the circumstance that you need to evaluate. Evaluate, and the lesson that you chose to learn. And I'll tell you what, this rattles people's cage because they are the, well, what about the negativity and this and that? And I'm like, I don't have all the answers. All I know is somewhere we had a contract agreement that we came in. I chose somehow, don't ask me why, cognitively, why I chose to have as many surgeries and all the, trauma that I went to, but I did. So, but it's easier to let those go, not live in the past, not living with those emotions, not holding into resistance to things. And say that again. Yes, believe encounters, and that's how we evolve. That's how elevated thought. That's when you start understanding, okay, I don't have to hold on to anything. You choose and allow to hold on to emotions, triggers, and past. My grandma taught me these when she was alive, when I was a little kid, in my adolescence, like my daughter is. And I was like, oh, bite me, Grandma. I don't want to hear any of these. She used to tell me about when I was older and having sexual partners. She always said, you need to be very careful who you make love to, or who you have energy intercourse with, because you exchange energy. And until a woman bleeds and actually clears her cycle, that those energy imprints can be left in you. And I was always like, yeah. And I realized that is so true. And you want to talk about empath and taking things on to people. That's when, there are so many teachers and healers that say, separate yourself. Is this mine or is this yours? But you won't know that. You won't know it's yours until you sit inside your center and come back into who you are. And also, thank you, yes, and also understanding, they're showing me butterfly cards, and also understanding you are evolving. And who you were yesterday is not the same person you are today. I'm not sure why I'm having to do this, but somebody who is listening, either now live or on the replay, is asked for a message, like a confirmation message, and I'll wait for that card to fly out. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask. I can hear there's a female who is, my ears are ringing, desperately asking for confirmation. And then I can hear Spirit talking to me. So the card that came out, it says relationship dynamic, and it's a monarchy, I believe, butterfly. It's like yellow on a purple flower, little purple flowers. Oh, thank you, Spirit. I'm like, why are we doing this? As this card has just said, relationship dynamics. So as I just said a second ago, which usually I channel, and then a card will present itself and back me up on what I'm saying. We are and when this is somebody who's really needing things to let go. This is why I'm channeling like crazy. We hold on to things in fear of nothing will come better, life circumstances. But this could even be like a business or a friendship. It doesn't have to just be a relationship with a partner. This could be friendship, yes, relationship, even home. Like if you're wanting, I don't think I'm going to find another, slow down, another place to live because this seems to fit my lifestyle right now. Say that again. It's funny because they go open up the the floodgates of trust. I do this exercise. Okay, we can talk about that. So I do this exercise with Spirit, or well, not even Spirit. I go straight to God. I call him God. You can call him Source, the Divine, whatever higher being that you have a name for. And when things are just too much for me, I just sit or stand in front of them, and I just say, "Take this. Just take this. Take this from me because you know what to do with this better than I do. I don't want to think about it. I just want this to, there's a lot of people who like the word manifest on here. So, because I keep having to use manifest. So everybody who's listening must like the word manifest. Manifest this in divine timing. It's funny because they go appropriate for what I need. Your guys' language is a little different. I know when I'm channeling for a certain audience because my language changes, especially if you watch my videos throughout my multiple shows. Let it go and say, figure this out for me because I'm over it and I'm done thinking about it. But you have to drop it. So when you give it to God, Source, the Divine, let it go and walk away and don't look back. And wait for whatever is supposed to be with it to let it be. And I think that sometimes is the hardest and the most valuable lesson is then truly let it go and don't let the cassette tape will about it over and over in your head. When is it going to come up? What is it going to do with it? Like, just let it go and move on to something else. Crafting. What are you trying to say? Say that again. Crafting the damn language. Crafting the heart space. So that means rebuilding heart space of trust. That's what Spirit is trying to go. So I feel like there's a few people who have been burned and lack in a state of trust because they feel like they were maybe let down by Spirit or situations that may have been hard knocks. So crafting the heart space and rebuilding trust with Spirit. I do a couple things. So if you're talking about intuition games, I do those with Spirit. I'll talk about those. So it can be something fun. Okay, hold on. I don't know who this is, but somebody in the audience is like really needing to hear this because I can so hear you. I do these intuition camps where I'm like, okay, spirit, I need, if I ask a question, I need to see something to know that I'm in alignment. Number sequences, we all know about those. Those are, very evident, seeing stuff. I have set up a system with spirit. If I see the same number 2 times in a row, I'm in alignment. If it's the same number 3 times, then maybe I'll go look the number up. Or if I see my birth date a couple times, that means to me that I need to trust. So you can set these up with your team in a meditation, just saying whatever it is, this is kind of how I want to communicate with you. I did this a couple years ago when I was really trying to full state trust with spirit. I would just say, okay, spirit, today's your day. So I'm going to trust my instinct wherever I need to go, where I need to turn, how I need to run my day. So if I got an idea or an instinct to go left, or when I'm driving, or go right, or stop at a store, whatever, I did exactly that. Sometimes nothing would happen, but I'm going to talk more about that. Or there were things like I needed to see because it helped me answer a question, talk about double license plate or whatever I had already set up. And it said something because I said something. I went to the store and nothing happened. I walked around and nothing. Also understanding, it's not always about seeing and feeling or seeing and hearing things. Your energy. So there's a quote that's been going around Facebook. Your energy presents itself before your voice does. You have no idea what your energy does and affects the room. So it could be somebody's having a bad day, a cashier, or somebody you brushed up against just felt your energy and felt your love. So that's why I always say before you walk into anything, have your intentions about love and connecting and radiate that throughout your entire body. So those intuition games are very good to help you build and craft your heart space and build it up. Okay, somebody's asking about empaths and how do you separate yourself when you're building and take so much on and absorb it, in. And a lot of people have talked about this in all kinds of different ways. My grandma taught me this couple techniques. My mom covers up her solar plex. She covers up her solar plex. That's her center. That's what she does. I'm a heart person. I always have been a heart person, of course, multiple heart surgeries. So I probably absorb more than I should. So I kind of have to, I know, because they talk about the metal plate on the chest. So there's a goddess, Athena. If you know anything about Athena, she is absolutely fantastic on helping you protect your energy. She is super, super strong. And her energy is so powerful, it can feel a little bit like a headachy because her energy is very, very strong. She can help also transmute that. But if you feel like you're getting attacked with somebody, I use mirrors. So I put mirrors in and all around me, and sometimes I have to make them super thick. And I say that anybody that, it's kind of that old saying, I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever bounces off me sticks to you. So, and anything that's not of light and love, return it back to the center. And I remember my grandma, somebody would say something negative, and when she was, of course, in her center, which is sometimes easier said than done when tensions are high, look somebody, if somebody's going off and cussing you out or something, and just say, God bless you, I love you. And you can say this in your head, you don't have to say it out loud. But when you feel like, seriously, I just feel like I'm attacked by the day and my thing, just sit in that presence and say, God bless you, I love you. Understanding that you don't know what's going on in their life and what their trigger was when they first woke up. And it's really, kind of crappy, but always taking the higher road. I know it's sometimes hard for kids because they're like, why do I always have to take the higher road? I don't know, because that's what we came here to do. And just say, God bless you, I love you, God bless you, I love you, over and over and over again in your head. Because what that does is you're pushing that energy to somebody who is desperately needing it. A lash out and a cry out is a cry for help. They're either feeling stressed, less than, insecurities. So those are just a few tricks that I talk about and teach on my coaching and my readings. what else were you going to say, Spirit? You were talking about something else. I know, since somebody's asked a little bit more about Athena. Athena came to me about a year ago, and I didn't know who she was. I saw like this, like, and I don't get stuck on colors because I say archangels and guides and masters and goddesses, they will come to you in whatever color. Do not, just because she comes to me a certain color, she may not come to you in a certain color. I think that is also extremely important that I think a lot of people don't talk about. So just because an archangel comes to me, or everyone's like, oh, Michael always comes in blue. I've had people BE. Believe encounters. Believe in your encounter. Do not compare yourself to everybody else. Now I understand why. Oh, man. I'm going to have to go write more about this. Athena comes to me in the bread, and she came in and was like this, like, huge circle orb thing. And I, like, saw it at the corner of my eye. I was like, what the heck? And I had this, like, splitting headache. And I'm like, who is this? And I heard Athena. And I'm like, who the heck is that? So I had to look it up. And they were like, oh, she's a Greek goddess. And I don't know, the myth is she came out of her dad's head or something. I was like, oh, that's why I have a headache. So, but there's not, like, a lot of information. So I had to sit there and I channeled. And it's when I started the Rainbow Ray Healing class. And she came in, and she's like, and it was like a protection. And she came in, and who is she? Even talking about her, I'm starting to get dizzy. And it was protecting us against, whatever that we may encounter. So I invite you to work with her. And maybe you guys some of you guys have been on here for a while. I already have. She's pretty cool. It's pretty powerful. But, and just feel. Because everybody asks me, how do you do that? Sit in meditation, get out of your head, into your heart, and say, I'm open to feel. I also teach about, or, you can set up classes or reserve your time or whatever I'm trying to say. And where I just bring in, I say, okay, I've already opened the space, we bring in archangels, and how does it feel to you? Because it's also nice to have somebody there, because people who are building their trust, just as somebody said, crafting the heart space, building this trust with spirit. Because a lot of people immediately will feel something and run to fear. Oh, it's bad, it's this. And I'm like, no, pull your head out of that mind frame and move into higher consciousness of love, elevated thought. Okay, where are we at? What time is it? Sitting here channeling away. Okay, here we go. We got a few more minutes to go. So when you sit in your center, meditate, and have a connection with any beings, also understanding, please understand, it may be very unique to you, and only there's billions of people in the world, and there may be only like 100,000 people who have felt this connection and not aware of it. It may not be online. You may not be able to Google and be like, okay, I heard this name, I don't know who this is. That's part of the BE movement. Believe in your encounter and be in the moment. I like this whole BE thing. I'm so excited about that. So, and trusting what you're getting is slow down. Immediately, as soon as you lose trust in what it is, it lowers your vibration. So we don't want to go into the doubt, into the downward spin. We want to move up and into this elevated thought. So, if you wanted to connect with any archangel, or if you're wanting to connect spirit guides, everybody asks me about spirit guides. These are your team. These are your dogs. They've been with you since the beginning, the very, very beginning. You had a soul contract with them, came in, the whole thing. They know what it's like to be human. Angels do not. So they looked at me and they're like, why don't you do this? I'm like, you don't know what it's like to be human. Angels and archangels don't. Spirit guides do. Build a relationship with them. This is what they're here to do, is help in whatever you're needing here as you in this bleep of time here on Earth. So, and everybody asks me, it's very cliche to say, but it's the best tool is meditating, because what it's doing is moving you out of your thinking box and into your heart space where you feel things. A lot of intuitives been coming to me and having their gifts, not hearing, seeing all the clairs. I don't get hung up on the clairs or whatever they all are. Then, I just, it's like, it's funny because I'm not seeing as much as I have, or I'm not hearing as much as I had. I said, because Spirit is saying, feel feel. It's what we were designed to do. And people have chosen to stop feeling and started thinking. So it's not that we've lost our sight or lost our hearing. They're wanting us to feel more because that's how we can relate to others. And that's when the comparison stops happening. I feel this. Take a couple deep breaths because that was like a whole lot of channeled and information. I know I can hear some people saying they're going to have to go back and listen to this. I never go back and listen. I don't know why, unless Spirit tells me to. It's like it's channeled and that's it. Can you make a little bit? I said it before, but it has to come up again. Pay attention to your thought pattern. Where do you immediately go? What is on your mind? Because that's where your energy is flowing. The more you become fully aware of what you are thinking, that really begins to slow down your mind. Okay. Sorry, I have a woman here. Maybe somebody from the audience. I don't know if she listens to this, but they're showing me she's like busy and she's got 100-mile, her brain is going, and everybody says this. I got 100 miles an hour going on things and emails. I got to return this call. I got to do this. The more that and they almost go like piece by piece, kind of just slow down and be like, okay, breathe, breathe. I know, because they keep saying dissecting and going by piece and piece and piece, but really paying attention and being very aware of your thoughts and your pattern. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Spirit said, when you do that, you're Men in Black. You want to talk about dimensions? This is what's happening. So Men in Black is when all of a sudden I'm on something, and then it's like that show, and then I get completely off. Because I know what they were talking about, but for some reason there was silence that needed to come in. Because I know exactly. Because when your brain is running, it just needs to be silence. You just need to turn it off and start breathing. That was the whole Men in Black thing. I understand. Yes. All right, they're starting to go into like nature, into the cycles of life, but I do not have time to get into that. That might have to be next show. Let's say that again. We're just going to do like, Nicole, you don't have to turn on any music. We're just going to do like a kind of a quick kind of drop into our heart space, into the silence. So if you have other noises, and you can't do this right now, maybe you can come back and listen to it. It's kind of super, powerful if you just don't have any music and you just sit and listen and taking a couple of deep breaths. So when you breathe, opening up your heart space, kind of like you're turning your chest to the sky. Breathing in and exhaling and kind of releasing and going, and kind of, I don't want to say hunching, but a little bit of bringing your shoulders in and doing this movement of opening and releasing. With every breath, if you do this motion and the release of breathing, you really fill into your heart space and into your lungs. And then you let go deeper into your seat, like dropping down into your center, getting comfortable at your seat, and breathing in and letting go. This motion and this movement really brings awareness to your chest and all the way down into your sit bones, and are connecting our chest and our sit bones. Breathing and sitting all the way down and exhaling and releasing. And you start bringing energy into your belly, into your soul. Oh my gosh, there's so much heat in my solar plex right now because I've done this a couple times. And breathing and releasing clears away stagnant energy within our energy points, because so many of us stay in our third eye and our crown, that it's important to embody the energy and the messages that we receive. So we breathe and we exhale. Breathe, opening the chest and relaxing into our sit. And breathe and exhale. Motion. Become very aware of your physical body. Maybe one side is tight on the right, maybe one side is tight on the left. And when you feel like you've moved enough, you can just sit still with your palms open, feet against the floor, and breathing into your physical. Shutting down your eyes and just relaxing. And breathing into your feet. Being aware of your toes. Can you feel your pinky toe? Energy and your focus all the way to your toes. The balls of your feet, the arch to the heel, the top of your foot. Really feeling your feet. Bringing your awareness to your hands and your fingertips and your palms and your thumbs. Going into your hands and breathing into below your belly button a couple inches where your organs are, your sacral, right above the skin. Do you feel your organs? Do you feel your skin? Bring your awareness there. Recognizing that your awareness still may be with your feet or maybe your hands. Our brain is working with two consciousness, aware of our feet, aware of our hands, and aware of our sacral. Bring awareness up to our throat. You feel sensations in and around your throat, behind your neck, the sides of your neck, inside. Awareness to our forehead, to our third eye. Feeling our forehead. Feeling the shift of your energy into your heart space, into right in the middle of your sternum. Recognizing your sternum, your bone, outside and inside. You feel your heart. Is your energy still on your feet, on your hands, on your sacral, on your throat, on your third eye? Are you having a hard time going to one place in your body, focusing your energy? Breathe deeper into this space. Pinpoint energy. Pull it up from the sun. Pull it right out of the sun and straight to our energy points, our sector where we want to ignite and feel more energy in this spot. It's like lighting a flame within us into our physical, bringing in more awareness to our body, energizing this space. And doing the same thing with the earth. Go all the way down to the core, to Mother Earth, drawing like a string and connecting it into our energy points, where we are connected and grounded always, and connected to the divine, to the sun, to God, of source. Breathe into these space, knowing that these lines are open for energy. Like your energy access codes constantly open. And you can call on and say you need energy. You may be feeling low in some of these areas, and there's many more. And start connecting these to all of your physical body. Taking 3 deep breaths and breathing. Just rub your hands, rub your physical body. My hands are tingling. I've done this twice today, and I've needed to throw energy out, but it's been important that everybody feels their own connection. Anytime you feel like you need an extra boost, will boost up with energy or needing the connection, focus on this motion of breathing and exhaling, moving the chest cavity out and back. I hope you guys enjoyed that little kind of reset. I've done it twice, and it's really grounded me because I've really been in the ethers today. I've definitely felt like a piece of my consciousness and my brain is in another awareness working. So I really needed to ground myself today. A lot of people, and I think this is a selfless promotion, something, but we're going to do that. So if you're wanting to connect with me, with any of my services, it is all, so I'm in Kansas City, and I have recently, which I'm super excited about, stepped out of my office at home, and I have a workspace now out in public. So I'm outside. I was going to say out of the closet, but I don't know if that's right. I've kind of been out on the web for a while, and now I'm actually out in physical. So if you are in the Kansas City area or want to fly to come see me, all that in-person information is on my website, talkingwiththeangels.com, and I am running specials for in-person. It's like my grand opening in my new space, so you can check that out there. It just says in-person, and I have healing and energy and intuitive guidance, and I'm working with teams of anxiety. So if you know of anybody, definitely share my link. I would appreciate it so much. And if you are not in Kansas City and want to connect, definitely check out all the ones online. I have distant healing and online 30-minute and 50-minute. You guys, thank you so much for your energy and your love. I loved all the questions. I'm glad we could connect on this level. Thank you to Nicole and every person of her team for creating this space to enlighten and to share the message of love. I am grateful for each and every one of you and sending you my light and my love. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Till next time.
Thank you, Tanya. Beautiful energy today. I was told by my upstairs team to not interrupt your flow, and I'm glad I didn't. Looking forward to next time. So Tanya is all linked up at newsforthesoul.com. We're back with more right after this. Hear all of our previously aired broadcasts of News for the Soul online at newsforthesoul.com. Now let's get back to the show.